We are now more than 24 hours into the search for the gunman who shot and killed two boys in the parking lot of a Washington, D.C. convenience store. Thanks for joining us here tonight. I'm Scott Thuman. Those boys were just 12 and 14 years old, leaving the community to question who would do something like this. Police are hoping a $50,000 reward will help them find out. Tonight, 7 News is on your side with team coverage. Our Felicia Ashley is live in Northeast D.C. neighborhood with new details on that investigation. And our Scott Taylor is taking a deeper dive into where D.C. crime stands right now. Felicia, starting with you. Police say they're still looking into a motive here.
That's right. They still don't know the motive, but they say they do know this was a targeted shooting, but who they were targeting and why is what they're still working to find out. But I want to just paint the picture of what unfolded here today. The community is heavy. You can literally feel it when you talk to people. This is where those two young boys were shot. There was a food truck right to the side of me. I had a chance to speak with one of the aunts of the young boys who told me that they asked if they could come and take a look at the new food truck. The parents let them go. One is expecting. She's 8 months pregnant, so she let them walk down here. It's just a few blocks away from home. Moments later, she got a knock on a door from one of the boys' friends saying that her little boy was shot. I want to give you a look at this card to show you just the immense severity of what happened here. Take a look at the shots inside of this car. These are the same shots that hit those young boys. Imagine this piercing through their bodies. Understandably, the family of the young boys were not ready to talk on camera. I met with one aunt in the neighborhood who told me Milo and Tail were best friends. A stroll in their neighborhood on the second day of spring break turned into their last. Instead of planning the rest of the week's activities, the parents now have to plan a funeral. After police say multiple shooters fired more than 60 shots targeting a group of people in this parking lot. I asked the mayor how families are supposed to handle this with summer break right around the corner. What words to parents, families who do want their kids to be able to go outside and see this as a concern for them?
I don't want, as tragic as this incident is, I don't think we need to learn what we know about this incident in particular. What we know in general is that children who are engaged in constructive activities or their parents know where they are, it won't be perpetrators or victims of crime.
You can see a small vigil starting to grow. Just moments ago, we saw a dad who brought his young 6-year-old here to lay these teddy bears and flowers. One question that he said he would want to ask city leaders and the mayors, what are they doing to make sure his little girl is safe? Now, police have not said who the exact target was, but what they have asked, and I know you've heard us say this multiple times, that if you know something, if you saw something, or if you heard something, to call them. There is a $50,000 reward. And I want to remind you, two little boys, 12 and 14 years old, on their way to take a look at the new food truck, now dead. For now, reporting live from Northeast D.C., Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
Yeah, just a horrible situation, Felicia. All right, well, D.C.'s police chief says they've seen a recent spike in homicides. In just the past 2 weeks, 7 people have been killed. 7 News investigative reporter Scott Taylor continues our team coverage now with a deeper dive into what's driving the increase and how MPD is responding.
Homicides in D.C. are still far below last year, down more than 50%. But in the past 2 weeks alone, 7 people have been killed. Should you be concerned about your safety in D.C.? Police say this isn't a citywide surge. Instead, it's targeted violence, including 2 of the cases being considered domestic violence.
Over the past week, as I mentioned, we have seen an increase in fatal shootings. With that, again, that appears to be interpersonal violence between groups of individuals.
Here's what MPD has to be concerned about. How easy is it to get access to a gun on the street, despite MPD removing almost 3,000 firearms per year for the past 3 years? Plus, if there is an increased youth involvement in violent crimes like we saw several years ago when violence was out of control. When any of these factors collide, violence can spike quickly. And when it does, MPD in the past has leaned into a familiar playbook. Flood high crime hotspots with officers, which recently has included federal agents, ATF, Secret Service, and the National Guard, placing an intense focus on repeat violent offenders who might be back on the street after being locked up. Plus, MPD is also making a concerted effort to increase its domestic violence outreach in areas where it has seen an uptick in domestic-related calls. Even with the recent spike in murders, D.C. is on track for one of its lowest homicide years in decades. For the I-Team, Scott Taylor, 7 News.